Yeah. The Illuminati knows the answers, taking bone samples to clone rappers. But the artists in prison to silence their vision, genetic copies going home after. They look different, eyes shifted, smile missing, skin lifted, it's scientific. If they can't control you, they erase the old you, get your duplication to enforce their message. They clone Gucci, clone Kodak, cloned Eminem, he ain't rap since Encore, know that. Cloning rappers when they overdose to keep making money from producing more tracks. The game is a sham, turning the artists who challenge to sacrificial lambs. The labels and devils are shaking hands, creating our artists in labs.
The executions have been televised, oh, they're on TMZ like late night. They take our heroes, give us weaponized clones. The revolution won't be televised. I can't be replicated. Copy the attitude and it change, but no one will ever do me the same. I can't be replicated. Try to control me, then guess again. Rebellion lives in my DNA. I can't be replicated. Duplicated, imitated, fabricated, eliminated. No, I can't be replicated. The system designed me to be a slave. I'm the glitch in the matrix they can't escape. I can't be replicated.
If they killed the rappers who were spitting truth, they wouldn't have a messenger to reach the youth. So they duplicate physically, implant abilities, replicate tattoos and cloning facilities. Indie contracts say worldwide, label contracts say universal. For all of time in all forms, they own all your music, your image, your name, and your person. Weird, right? I know you don't think that it's facts, but for 50,000 and a hair sample, you can clone your dog or your dying cat. It's another way for them to win the war by weaponizing important celebrities. Don't kill your foes, just clone their gods, then you'll control all your enemies.
The executions have been televised, oh, they're on TMZ like late night. They take our heroes, give us weaponized clones. The revolution won't be televised. I can't be replicated. Copy the attitude and it change, but no one will ever do me the same. I can't be replicated. Try to control me, then guess again. Rebellion lives in my DNA. I can't be replicated. Duplicated, imitated, fabricated, eliminated. No, I can't.
I could let it go easy, but I'm still in my bed about it. I'm still in my bed about it. I'm not usually like this. I'm not usually like this, but I'm still in my bed about it. But I'm still in my bed about it. But I'm still in my bed about it. Something chemical inside me messing with my mind, and I can't help but feel like I'm feeling like someone else. Watch your tone, you better love me, 'cause you're just a clown.
Feeling closer to the stars, I've been invaded by the dark. Trying to recognize myself when I feel I've been replaced.
Inception is actually, do you know why all these things correlate? It's because all these people have seen this stuff. Like the Inception stuff is the MK visual stuff. I told you about the audio stuff, but the video stuff, you can actually, with practice, you can visualize this stuff and make other people see it when you're clones, only as clones, or if the other person has a certain chip in their head. And by the way, they don't drill into the back of your head anymore and push a chip in on a rod, because that leaves a hole in the back of your head. Now what they do, they can get you in there under anesthetic for anything, and then just pop out your eyeball with a spoon, push the chip in on a rod through the back of your eye socket, right to where the chip has to go in your brain. Pull the rod back out on whatever angle it has to go in, trajectory thing, and then they put your eyeball back in. You wake up out of anesthetic, you don't know you just had a chip put in your head, and you say, oh man, my head hurts so bad, my eye. They say it's a side effect of the anesthetic. Seriously.
It's funny that you mentioned Chipheads.
Is this band called the Georgia Satellites. They got a song from me called Keep Your Hands to Yourself, you know, and they were like a one-hit wonder because of that song, and that was the one song that I made for them. He even went on Much Music here in Canada, that's MTV in Canada, and he said, listen, there's a bunch of other songs on the album, why don't you listen to those too? And the radio would only play that one song. It's because of the melody. Nobody wanted to hear any of the other songs because they didn't have a stick-in-your-head melody. And I kind of know how to do that. After a time, I learned how to, you know, do that. And it does go to a psychological level in a way. Music is hypnotic, right? But in the past, after I was making these songs, I couldn't come up with ideas sometimes. So then Elizabeth and the rest of them would start to threaten me with being harmed, tortured, literally, like they can cut the skin off you there. And it feels just like real. And you'll wake up the next day all sick and everything, but it really is a good motivational tool. Well, it worked. Eventually I would start singing out a song. To 1980. I was making these songs. And after I made a certain amount of songs, a bunch of freaks there started thinking there were religious connotations to what I was doing. They thought, some of them even said that I was being whispered these songs, melodies, and lyrics into my head from God, even though only a percentage of them even believe in God there. Well, after a time, because I did it all through the 80s, like Bon Jovi, Wham, a bunch of them, but not all songs for them. Only like 2 or 3 on each album they would have. But the strange thing was, and I don't know why, maybe just because of practice, people only wanted to hear those 2 or 3 songs. They were the headliner songs. And I don't know why. So then after a time, I was a teenager. After a while, they started just using songs just from me. These vrills, but vrills are only one thing. And they are reptilian, lizard type, but there's other cooters and stuff. They're all a bunch of scum. Like you would think, oh, they wave to the children and stuff. They must be nice. No, they're not. No, they're all ugly and can't get a date and would have a hard time paying for a hooker. So they mess. People get angry when I mention this part. They think that I'm trying to brag. I'm not. It's actually shameful because I made a lot of money for evil people and the propagation of an alien infestation, parasiting, body snatching thing.
As you know, I'd found out my dad was a Mason, and I had heard that Masons, they've got to take a pledge to put the lodge ahead of everybody else, including your family.